All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Roll call, William Johnson.
Here.
Thomas Graffinino.
Here.
Lisa Kreckler.
Here.
Phil Diorio is here. Lynn Colligan is excused. We also have present Stephen Kiley, Town Attorney, via Zoom. First order of business is to review and approve the May 22nd, 2024 minutes. Can I have a motion to
I'll
approve?
make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have a few things on the agenda, but some of them are not really going to go anywhere here tonight. The first application is for 73 Shore Road and 65 Stearns Point Road. Christina, do you have to read the notice on this?
That's correct.
Okay.
A hearing on the application of Anna Kaplan on behalf of the Perlman Music Program, owner of 78 Shore Road and 65 Stearns Point Road, Shelter Island, New York, which are in Zone AA residential nearshore overlay district and are more specifically described on the Suffolk County tax map at 700-13-2-31 and 700-13-2-32.1. The applicant is seeking a special permit to change the use to that of an educational institution, which is a permitted principal use in Zone AA with a ZBA special permit per Town Code Section 133-7, District AAD.
Okay, so we referred this to the town secret consultant, and they have been in contact with the applicant. The applicant has brought them some stuff, but we're still awaiting the results of an archaeological study on the property. And so I think we need to adjourn the meeting, and we'll
In the hearing.
adjourn the hearing, sorry. And set the date for a new date of August 28th to reopen the hearing and, or whatever, to resume the hearing. Is everybody good with that?
Yeah, we need a motion.
We need a vote, Christina, on this?
You can, why not?
Sure, let's,
I'll make a motion that we adjourn it to August 28th.
I'll
second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. All right, next up is 7 Larry Lane. This is a continuation of a hearing from May. We had asked the applicants to submit an updated plan. They had shown an outdoor shower remaining where they were going to put this small entry addition. They've sent us now revised plans that show the shower is gone. I don't know if there's anybody here to present for them, or if there was, okay, we have somebody on Zoom, Christina, I think, who is looking to weigh in here.
Yeah, and then he's showing the representative.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name's Denise Shern. I'm the attorney for the applicant. You're exactly correct. At the last meeting, our first hearing, we presented an application to you for a 153 square foot addition to this residence, serving as sort of a mudroom or entryway from the parking area leading into the building. One of the questions that arose at the meeting was an inconsistency on the plans, which showed that an existing shower was going to remain when in fact it's proposed to be removed. So we were asked to remedy that. So we've submitted the revised pages of the plans that referenced that shower and have now deleted that from the plans themselves. So pages A111 through 113 were submitted to the board.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I just want to confirm that the square footage of that entryway has not changed at all, as indicated on the plan.
That's correct.
And does anybody here have any questions? Anybody out in Zoom land have any questions? Nobody wants to comment? Okay, I think we can close this hearing, leave it open for written correspondence until July 10th, and we'll discuss it at our work session on July 17th.
Very good. Thank you.
Do we need a motion to close, Christina?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we close it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Next up is 70 Tuttle Drive, a continuation of the hearing. We had asked for some updated plans comparing what was approved at the last go-around here at the ZBA for 70 Tuttle Drive compared to what is being proposed today.
Sure.
And I guess we have Matt Sherman here to present.
Good evening, Matt Sherman with Sherman Engineering and Consulting. Excuse me, I'm here with the architect. Michael Mont is in the audience, and Bo Durham, the other architect, as well as Marina Hahn, the property owner, are on Zoom. If anybody has any questions for them, I'm going to go through another brief presentation similar to what we did last time to kind of answer some of the questions that the board had from the last meeting. And then the architect would also like to take a few minutes to explain some of what the design considerations were as they were looking at these new plans. The plans that we're presenting tonight are a slight modification to what we had shown you last month. We had taken the original approval, which had two separate roof elevations, a lower ridge and an upper ridge. And we had reduced it from the upper ridge, but it was higher than the lower ridge. So it was a little bit larger than what was originally approved. As a response to some of the board's questions and concerns at the last meeting, the architects have gone back and reduced the overall height of the building. So now this building that we're proposing is at the same elevation, the same ridge height as the lower ridge on the last approval. And I'll show you all that here in just a second. Okay. And without going into too much detail, because we've been through the site plan several times already at this point, but just kind of, just for the record, Tuttle Drive to the north, Cockles Harbor to the south, vacant lots, both east and west. The vacant lot to the east is really a continuation of the next building lot, which is further to the west, excuse me. And then the vacant lot to the east is really an access to the water, and there's a small boat ramp and some other improvements over there that are used by the property to the north. So this is the survey of the property. The
Can you blow that up at all, Matt?
I can, yeah. Is that me? That signed out? That's not on my screen.
Shit. Andrew? I lost all sound. So did Bo on the Zoom. It's not working. It was. Oh my God. It's my other architect. Hang on a second. It's terrible.
You deal with this stuff.
Okay, okay. Oh my God. Hi, what should we do? Oh God. I mean, there's nobody there who Michael can't just tell them the Zoom isn't working? You did? Yeah, I know. Right. Right. I agree. Yeah. So I'm on a map. Are you on a map? Oh, shit. Oh, well, yes, there's some co-host now, host now. Oh, shit. All right. Of all timing. What do we do, I mean, Bo, this is just crazy. Oh.
Okay, good. All right, keep it going.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, so we're hot?
We're hot.
Okay. So this is the site plan, zoomed in a little bit. Again, Tuttle Drive to the north, surface water, Cockles Harbor to the south. This is the existing building footprint, same as the proposed building footprint. The elevations, you're at about a 12-foot elevation up here by the road. And then it has a fairly steady drop to the back of where the house is, which is at about an 8-foot elevation. So you've got between 3 and 4 feet of a drop. About 2.5 feet of that is along the build where the building is. The flood zone, that's down here to the south of the building. We go from a X zone, which is not a problem, down to an AE zone. So that's everything to the south of that AE zone is what would be considered a hazard zone. Everything to the north is not. So this is the proposed site plan. Again, footprint of the building stays the same. We do get rid of an outdoor shower on that northwest corner. Small stoop, that's like where the door, main door coming in here is on that northeast corner, so both of those go away. And we're putting a landing in an area where the existing chimney is now. So footprint stays the same, but a different thing is there in that footprint. We do have a stairway going down into the basement. We've got mainly a storage basement, which I'll show you in a second, but stairway going into the basement on that east side of the building. And then we've got the stairs that run along the south side of the building for the sliding doors that enter out of the living area, that first floor, come out onto those stairs. The zoning setbacks, we're at a 25-foot side yard setback because this is a AA zone reverting to single A for setback purposes. So it's a 50-foot wide piece of property. So we basically have 0 building envelope. 40-foot front yard setback encompasses the vast majority of the building, both existing and proposed. So we can't move the building forward any. There's nowhere to go left or right. We can't move it to the south because of wetlands issues. The existing cesspool here, 7.5 feet, just under that off of the bulkhead. So basically 7.5 feet for a cesspool from the surface waters is going to be replaced with an IA septic system that is within the 100 feet of the wetlands, which we would prefer not to have, but there's just nowhere else to put it on the property. So even though we're not making the septic perfect, we are making it a heck of a lot better than what it is today. For the purposes of sizing the septic system, I know this isn't really a ZBA issue, but just to help show the overall idea of what we're doing, number of bedrooms stays the same, so the amount of theoretical sanitary flow onto the property stays the same. So we're going from a unbelievably woefully uncompliant septic system to the state-of-the-art, properly sized system. Excuse me, so these are the floor plans. Proposed floor plan for the basement and the first floor. We've got 2 storage rooms. Up here in this upper corner, that's gonna be a mechanical room. So the stairs going up to the first floor and a laundry room, that's what's gonna be on that basement level. The basement level is gonna be unconditioned, unfinished space for these main rooms. The only thing that's gonna be finished space would really be the staircase and the laundry room. The mechanical room would have fire rock on it, as would be required by code, but it wouldn't be conditioned, so it would not be considered conditioned living space by any definition.
What mechanical equipment is going in the basement mechanical room?
You're gonna have water heaters, typical residential mechanical equipment, the air handlers, things of that effect for the first floor.
HVAC stuff?
There will be dehumidifiers in the basement, just because it's a basement, but there won't be any heat or AC in the basement. The stairway that I mentioned before along the side of the building, that new stairway, that's right down here, coming into the side of the building. These 2 rooms are gonna be sectioned off with double doors on either side so that they can be closed off from the rest of this area here. And then that will too help maintain any of the heat or AC that's in the rest of the building from, these areas being a drag on the rest of the building. For the main floor, this is almost identical to what was approved the first go-round, where we have the kitchen, dining room, living room, and then a den, home office. For the purposes of the septic design, we also included this as a possible bedroom area. Even though its primary function would not be that, we wanted to make sure that everything was taken into account when we were looking at the overall design. Second floor, you've got 2 bedrooms and a sitting area. So this area here is too small to be a bedroom. You can fit a couch in it, that's about it. So it's a third room on that second floor. You've got 2 bathrooms on the second floor, and then you've got the stair hall. And again, if you've got any specific questions about the architectural design, the architect is here to help answer any of those questions. Coming up onto the third floor, and this was a point of concern, some comments that the board had, so we've made some changes here as well to help alleviate any of those, and that'll become even more evident in a second. We've got the stair hall coming up here in basically the middle of the building, and there's a dormer over top of that stair hall so that we can get the proper headroom. Flanking it on either side are those mechanical storage areas, and there was some concern that those areas could be used for living space. Here at the middle of the building, it's got a 7-foot ceiling height, and as you come up to the north side, to that outside wall, the ceiling height drops down to the floor level. So it goes from 7 feet to nothing. So there's no possible way those rooms could be used for anything other than mechanical equipment and some minimal storage. Then we come out onto the roof deck. So the basically the southern half of the building is going to be a roof deck. We can't have a spot, there's no spot out in the yard for a deck, so do the second best thing and put it on the roof. So here's the elevations. On the left-hand side is what we're proposing. On the right-hand side is what was originally approved. So when I was talking about earlier about that top roof ridge, we've matched the area, the elevation of that original proposal, of the original approval of that of that lower ridge for that previous approval. On the previous approval, this upper ridge, which is about 2.5 feet higher than the lower ridge, that was there to make way for the stairs coming up. So what the architect's done now is they've put this dormer, kept it at that ridge height so it doesn't pop up any, and they've made brought the stairs forward a little bit, so that enables the staircase to be encompassed within that proposed roof structure as one level. Looking at it from the side, you get a little bit of a better perspective of how it would look. So again, we're reaching that maximum ridge height there, which is code, even though we're within the side yard setbacks, code says the maximum building height for a pitched roof is 35 feet. our original approval, this one here, was at 34.8 feet. Our proposed is at 32.3. So it comes down, just about 2.5 feet from what that original approval had. You got your roof deck. It's basically the same layout as it originally was. The first approval had a gabled end wall that was on the outside of that roof deck. The new plan maximizes the roof deck area and removes that gable end wall. So it actually, if you're standing on that side of the property, looking at the building, it's actually going to have less of an impact than the original approved plan would have had. And reverse, looking at it from the opposite side.
Can I ask you, so
Absolutely.
that roof deck doesn't need a height variance because the flat roof is higher than 25 feet, the flat roof code?
I'd have to check with Reed, but the roof, the building itself has a pitched roof.
I understand.
So,
But on the backside, you have what is ostensibly a flat roof, right?
yeah, and I mean, we've also got this pitched roof on, next to it, flanking it on either side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of it's like a hybrid between a flat and a pitched roof. This deck itself is, the level of the deck is 22.8 feet above average grade. Flat
Okay.
roof is 25 feet.
Okay, so it's 22 and a half above average grade.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it is below that flat roof,
Okay.
25-foot maximum. This is looking at it from the water, sliding doors that go into the area where the stairs are, and then, shingle siding on either side. And behind those is where that storage area is. This is a rendering, trying to get it so that I know it's kind of hard to wrap your head around, these black and white line drawings to kind of really get a feel for what a building's going to look like. So this does a much better job of representing what the building would look like. The existing hedges in front, they're at about a 7-foot height right now, give or take, depending on where you're standing on the hedge, anywhere from 6 to a little bit over 7, closer to 8 in some scraggly areas. So that is what it would look like. You've got trees to the left, you got trees to the right. So it's going to be nestled between those trees. There's also a row of trees that run down the property line. They're on, depending on the tree, some of them are on the property owner's side, some of them are on the neighboring property owner's side. But there is a row of trees that run down that side of the property that will help soften the view of the building from both Tuttle Drive, from all three sides, Tuttle Drive, from the water, and from the one neighbor. And then this is a section, this helps see a little bit better. These are those storage areas. So you've got a 7-foot elevation here on the middle, almost the middle. You got right down to the plate on the outside edge. So there's just, there's really no other use for those areas. This one here is a section in the area where the stairs come up. So your stairs would be coming up right in this area here, and that's where you've got that required 7.5-foot headroom coming up into that area. So that's all I've got as far as my presentation. If you've got any other questions or any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer. Otherwise, if you've got any questions for the architect, he's here to answer. And also, like I said, he's got a few things he'd like to discuss with you about the design and the use of buildings.
Just one thing, did they add deck to the back of the house? Did they add decking to the back? I noticed in one of the pictures there was
Yeah. On the ground level, yeah, there, let me go back a little bit. Yeah. Here, so the existing right now, there's a small deck that comes out. There's like a covered porch that cuts into this area here. So there's a small deck that comes out where that covered porch is. So this decking here, it's not a deck, it's a walkway coming out. And you've got sliding doors here, so they come out onto that walkway, and then those steps, or that platform, and then those steps coming down. It's not deep enough to be used for a table or putting chairs out or anything like that. It's just, it's really more for getting access going into the building.
I have a question. Can you confirm that in those two side mechanical rooms, are there any windows?
On the
On the third
upper
story.
floor, there are no windows, no.
towards the road,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
no windows.
No, no window. The dormer that's in that area is just over top of where the stairs are.
Anyone else here have a question? Anybody in the audience have a question? Please, you need to come up and state your name.
And also, before we do, I know Michael would like to speak.
Can you put up that image again of that, the actual, makeshift picture, not the drawing? I'm a neighbor, Lisa Slade. I live, I have a property that's waterfront property that's adjacent to Maria Hahn's property. So I have a picture, I should have uploaded it for you guys, but I'll show you this way. So this is her house. And this is our waterfront, and then I have a house back here. So this is my waterfront, and this is the house. And I'm not opposed to anything. I want her to, you know, have things right, but it's a very strange spot with no parking. And the picture with the hedge, if you could put that up again.
Your property on the east side of their house.
My
Is that
property is
correct?
up, I have a house up above, and then.
Yeah,
I
but
have
the
my
waterfront
waterfront
side.
is exactly next to her privet.
Right,
There is
on the
no
east
space
side.
there at all, just privet.
On the east side, you're facing her house, it'll be on your left.
If I'm facing her house, it's on the left.
Yeah. I know the property.
So in this photo, it's confusing to me because this is where the property ends, right here. This does not exist here. This is my property. So this is not, and this is bigger than, you can see where the road is. The road is, there is no driveway. The road is here. So it makes it look like that's a very pretty picture, but it's not the reality of it. Like the road is, here, so you can kind of see it like this. Show you guys. Here's, my property starts right there. So there couldn't be that privet there. There is privet down right next to the house. So it just doesn't look, that's not how it is. So it's sort of like this, you can see.
Got to slow down and show it to me.
Okay, sorry. So this is the house from the back. Try to get a big picture of it. Not technological. Okay, that's the entrance to the house in the back, and this is the privet, and then the waterfront is here. That's my property here.
Okay.
Hers is right there, it's there. So that makes it look like it would go all the way to here, like, no, that picture would be impossible.
Okay.
And the road, it would be much closer.
Okay.
The road would be actually at the privet. So I think my only concern really that I'm hearing, and I came late to the game here, but drainage, like I didn't know if you had talked about that, but there's lots of water problems there. So that maybe they need a dry well or something if.
So any roof runoff will have to be captured.
So you already discussed that?
No.
No, but I can discuss it. I
Okay.
can also address what you were just talking about too. I can address that as well.
And I think that my positive comment, I like the change of it, I think the change of it makes, I think it look without it being higher. I think that's nicer because it doesn't obstruct the view.
Okay.
I'll just address a couple of her comments very quickly. And actually her comment was something that we had looked at when we looked at this drawing too, and we wanted to make sure that it wasn't a misrepresentation of what was going on. So let me just run through a couple of things here. So this here is the road, the privet she's talking about, is this privet right here. And this is a car parked between the privet and the road. So there is room, the privet's not right on the road. There is 8 feet or so between the road and the privet.
So we say that.
So that the picture, I mean, whenever there's an architectural rendering, it's not, a perfect representation of what the real world is, but it is a very good representation of what we're talking about. So we've got this privet running down the side, which is that one to the left on that other photograph on the rendering. We've got the large privet in front of the house, and we've got more than enough room to park a vehicle between the privet and the road. Let's see. So, this is all there now. So it's not perfect, but it is a pretty good representation of what we're looking at.
Okay, and then just to address it, right, the way that this works now is that any roof runoff has to be captured, right? And go through a dry well.
Yeah, and we typically address that with the planning board or the town board.
Right, but I mean, but that is the way it is,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. We try to design for a 2-inch rainfall, which is standard. If we can get more storage than that, then we do. In this case, we're able to get at least a 2-inch, if not a little bit more, because we don't have a whole lot of area. We're only talking about a 1,200 square foot roof area total. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Michael? Em, did you have any other comments?
Do I? Just that,
If you do, you have to just get up and get up to the lectern.
just that last picture of the driveway, that's the road that you come down, so it's a complicated spot, it's really small. And, so that where that car is, the driveway comes down there, it's just a small spot, so that like the flooding is already an issue, even without that, but. No,
No, that's good.
they figured it out.
That's a good point.
Okay. Anybody here have any other questions? Sir, did you want to come up and?
Yes, if I can.
Yes, absolutely. Please come up and identify yourself and.
Good evening. My name is Michael Lamont from Stella Lamont Ronnie Architects. We are an architecture firm based in Bridgehampton for 30 years. Most of our projects are waterfront, Eastern Long Island. Reputation for being capable architects, designers, and also passionate stewards of the landscape and surrounding communities. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the owner, Marina Hahn. I'll be brief. Marina Hahn and her family have been spending time on Shelter Island for more than 50 years. They originally had a house in the Heights with a large extended family. Her 100-year-old mother still owns the house and spends a significant amount of time there. They purchased 70 Tuttle Drive from a family friend whom they visited for many years. Marina is an active member of the community and understands how special a place Shelter Island is. Just a couple brief comments on the existing structure and the proposed architecture. The existing structure, inexpensively built as a simple summer cottage, has a compromised foundation, waterproofing issues, energy inefficient, and has a less than ideal layout for how the house is now occupied. We're not expanding any use from what the current house actually already has. It's not a speculative project, and Marina intends to stay on the island and build a house for herself, her adult daughter, and a growing family. So a little bit about the architecture. The proposed house sits on a foundation of exactly the same size as the existing house. It's quite similar in massing to the previously proposed and approved structure. We spent a lot of time on the design of this building. Traditional elements, building forms, and materials were proposed in keeping with the eclectic context of Tuttle Road. While clearly a new building, we feel it has vernacular inspiration in the spirit of the original structure and appropriate for the site and Shelter Island in general. Matt had already discussed the proposed height that's below the maximum allowed and has less volume above the eaves than the previously proposed. The front and sides of the house are intentionally quiet in nature. Glazing was located certainly for the views on the south side, but also to minimize and respect privacy of the neighbors. Happy to answer any other questions if you have anything further on.
Anybody have any questions, Frank? No? Anybody out in Zoom land want to make a comment? Anybody raising their hands there, Christina? No? Anybody else in the audience? No, I think we can close the hearing, leave it open for written comment until July 10th, and we'll discuss it at our July 17th work session. Can I have a motion to close the hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We had two other hearings that were scheduled on our calendar, one for 3 Glen Drive, one for 15 Bayshore Drive. Both of them were noticed incorrectly, so we will not hear either of those applications tonight. Can I get a motion to close the meeting?
So,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Meeting's closed at 8:06. Thank you all.